Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness.
Your first podcast.
I know.
And
Scary, huh?
you're our first guest too. And
Oh
you're our
man,
first guest.
put the
I
pressure
know.
on.
No,
No pressure, no
Okay.
pressure.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so I think what I'd like to do to get started, so we all enter into the space together and just sort of like settle our nervous systems down as we enter into this episode of Collecting Consciousness with my dad, a super special guest this week. I would like to start off with just a little bit of breath work. So, wherever you're at, if it is available to you, I invite you to close your eyes, gently resting your eyelids down and taking our gaze inward, beginning to allow our nervous system to settle just a little bit. And as we bring our attention inward, I invite you to just soften into whatever surface is below you. So if it's a chair, soften into the chair. If it's your car seat, soften into that. If it's the couch, find softness there. And as we allow our bodies to settle just a little bit more, finding a little bit more stillness in our nervous systems, I invite you just to tune into your breath. So noticing maybe if your breath is very shallow, maybe it's very rapid, or maybe it's very calm and steady. Wherever your breath is at in this moment, just allowing it to be what it is. Now I want to invite you to take a nice deep inhale with me. So taking a nice inhale through the nose, allowing the breath to fill into the lower belly, softening the lower belly, filling up the chest, expanding the chest nice and big, getting all the way to the top of this nice big inhale and pausing for just a moment, experiencing the stillness that is available to us. And on the exhale, sighing it all out. Taking another nice inhale together. So bringing that fresh breath through the nose, allowing it to soften and fill the belly, allowing the chest to expand and rise. And when you get to the very top of this inhale, I want you to just pause again for a moment, allowing your nervous system to receive the stillness that is there for us at any given moment. And on the exhale, sighing everything out, all your stresses, all your worries. Taking one more nice big inhale together. Inhaling, bringing the breath in through the nose, filling the belly, expanding the belly as big as you can, filling the chest, and letting that expand as big as you possibly can. When you get to the top, pausing for just a moment, and then letting it all out. Nice big sigh. Now allowing your breath to return back to its natural rhythm. And in this moment, just tuning into how the breath is. Has it shifted? Has it changed? Just observing. And as we sit here with our eyes gently closed, just quietly observing our breath, I'd like to invite Courtney to lead us with a little prayer of intention for this podcast.
Thank you, Bethany. Welcome to Collecting Consciousness with Bethany, Courtney, and our very special guest, Tom, Bethany's dad. Through our breath work, we have allowed an open space, an open container of wisdom, of getting into the body, of allowing ourselves to be all that we are, which is imperfect, and that makes us perfect. So allow us to curate wisdom with different perspectives, with open hearts, with open minds, with a willingness to be seen, to be heard, to be valued. We feel gratitude, appreciation, to allow wisdom to be at the forefront of our minds, in hopes to inspire, to share, and once again, to allow it just to be as it is, which is imperfect in a perfection, which is perfect. From our hearts to yours, we welcome you to Collecting Consciousness. So join us, jump in, dive in, let yourselves be expansive, and we look forward to what is going to be curated with trust of the unknown. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And as you're ready, just blinking your eyes gently open if they're closed, entering back into the space that is around you. And here we go. Thanks,
I
Dad.
learned one thing. I learned one thing. It's probably standing at my computer causes my neck and my shoulders to hurt because I just felt my shoulders drop. So they were up here.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
cool.
look, but that's beautiful. You knew to drop those shoulders. Like that's I teach my clients that all the time. Like when we're up here, we're holding tension. So it
Big
allowed you
time.
to soften.
Yeah.
Are you
More and
standing?
more. What's that?
Are you standing right now?
No, I'm
Oh, okay.
sitting. I'm actually sitting at the table. The stand-up computer is behind me. So yeah.
Yeah,
But I just found that interesting that, that's been bothering me a lot lately is my shoulders and my neck and my back, how I was telling you, I'm getting the knots out of my back. And just doing that little session right there just made me realize that, I was sitting like this up here, whatever. So I know figure I'm like that most of the day because if I'm not standing at the computer, then I'm sitting here, on my laptop doing stuff. So it's been doing a lot. As we've spoken, I've done a lot of it lately. So that's probably helped.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
It's
cool.
a nice little conscious awareness.
Yeah.
And now it'll be able to check. Like another thing, when I was in massage school, we always were hunched over. We were leaning forward. We're students, and our teachers would come in and they would be like, "Fix your posture, fix your posture." They do it many times throughout the day. So, now when you tense up, when I tense up, I notice it because it's been ingrained into my subconscious.
No, that makes sense. I mean, total sense. So
that's super
that's
cool.
Good. See.
Well, thanks for being a willing participant and
being absolutely. That's it, right? Oh no, okay.
Yeah. Podcast's over.
Podcast over.
Episode's done.
Figured out my pain.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh, But
Wow,
that's
we're
really cool.
powerful.
I know,
We're really bad at that.
very. Yeah.
In just that short time.
We have a
Well,
thing going.
yeah, we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. So I guess what I wanted to bring you on today to chat about
Mhm.
was me and my dad chat a lot, you know, and we've always had a really good communication. We've always had a really easy time chit-chatting. When I was younger, it was usually like because I needed to be chit-chatted to and spoken to. And dad always held the space, and he definitely always held the curiosity for communication, which was really helpful. But if anything, that's just grown and deepened as I've gotten older and you've gone through life. So I'm super grateful for that. And in our most recent conversation, we were just kind of chit chatting about new shifts that have happened in your life, or one of our many recent conversations, I guess I should say. But we were chit chatting about, recent things that have shifted in your life and just the theme of it's never too late. So, not to call out your age. We won't do that.
Better late than never. It's
Better
better
late
late
than
than
never.
never.
Okay, okay. Better late than never. Better late than never is the theme that keeps coming up, and I just think that's a really inspirational theme to have, and I think that you have a lot of personal wisdom and experience around that, and so I like to just dive into little pieces of that with you. Um,
Sure.
so
And I'm here for the ride, and I'm
yeah,
gonna I'm letting my wisdom come in and be like, I'm questions will be conjured.
All right.
and yeah, I don't have specific questions, just more of a general conversation. Just
Hmm.
I guess there's many components of things that you have shifted in your life. I think the first one that I want to chat about is kind of the meditation practice that you've sort of cultivated
Right.
on and off throughout the years, because I feel like I could trace that back to like 2014 when you first
Yes. Yeah.
started.
13, 14.
13,
Yes.
14,
Hmm.
right? When you're going through like a tougher time, and we
Hmm.
were, me and you together, working on trying to figure out how to help. Well, you could expand on that.
Just bring me
How
back
you,
down. That's
yeah.
all. Just bring me back to what was important
Mhm.
and calm down a little bit, which
What's
I'd always had a problem with that anyways.
what brought you to it? Like, what struck you to start doing meditation?
Uh, I was I was just looking for something to take away the anxiety. A lot of anxiety, always have had, just never realized how bad it was affecting me. So, when Bethany suggested it, that's really where I started with it. I started looking into it more and more. And I had some weird experiences. It was kind of
Oh,
cool,
oh,
but I
oh
had
yeah.
weird experiences. So,
The
yeah,
power of meditation, people don't realize the
not at
power of
all.
that. Like, and then sometimes I've talked to someone before when they started to have those really out there experiences, it scared them, and then they took themselves out of meditation. But I mean, the journeys I have gone down with meditation, it just shows you how powerful the mind is. And when we start tapping into the power of the mind, we can shift so many programming constructs, um, traumas from our childhood, from our life's experiences. The beauty of meditation is truly it teaches you that search within. It's something I'll never not do because you want to feel calm within your body. You want to tackle those anxieties because, our mind will create stories. And if we are attaching ourselves to these stories, we're
Hmm.
holding ourselves back.
Hmm.
I
I
just did
think,
it last night. I woke up and I had these thought, it's 3:30 and I'm thinking, oh, I wanted to get up at 5 today and I didn't make it. I missed
oh,
by an hour, threw my schedule all off. I was really going to try today because I went to bed earlier than I have been, and I thought, I could do it. But then when I woke at 3:30, I just had thoughts racing through. So I just started breathing and thinking about that, and then I woke up at 10 after 6. So So I obviously needed the rest. It's
Yes.
not one of
Yeah.
those things that I didn't need the rest. So,
Mm.
and I've been waking up at between 5 and 5:30 and tossing, turning until 6, and then finally just get out of bed, which I just need to just get up
Mhm.
and, go to work. And if I need, the one author I'm reading, a Nappuccino, if I need a Nappuccino during the day,
A
A
nappuccino.
a Nappuccino,
Nappuccino. I
a
love that.
Nappuccino, yes. You drink coffee and then rest. And coffee supposedly takes 20 minutes to affect the body. So it takes you, I forgot what they said, 7 minutes, whatever it is, to actually 7 to 13 minutes to fall asleep.
Mhm.
20 minutes, the total period is 20 minutes. You wake up, you're refreshed. I did
That's
it
right.
last
Yes,
week
yes, yes.
and it worked.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And there's
20 minutes. 20
yeah,
minutes.
and
Like,
and then
20
there's
minutes. I
also
set a timer.
when you go beyond the 20 minutes, you wake up and you feel more groggy,
Oh,
headache. It's like you have to be there. There's
no.
also like 20 minutes, there's 90 minutes, the time
Mhm.
frames that make you have a good rhythm. It's probably going through the sleep rhythms.
It
Right.
totally is.
And that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
totally is.
It's funny because all those things, as I say, I just better late than never.
Yeah.
But it
Yes.
just keeps happening, and it's just crazy, where this could have been a long time ago. But as we talked last week, the last third. So got to make it a good third.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's a beautiful perspective,
yeah, you're
Last
taking
third. Yeah.
ownership, and you're
Mhm.
taking ownership of your life and yourself. Like we in so many ways can we take ownership through the things that we eat, the things that we listen to, the things that we watch. And that just shows that you are trying to take ownership and live a life that feels good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
that's
I've always had a problem with thoughts about it. I didn't have a problem being a jerk, but I always had thoughts of, I say a jerk, that's pretty strong, but always thinking that I could have been better and,
Mm.
just trying like crazy. So, um, just never had, and it's interesting. I was thinking about it this morning, this book I'm reading now, and Bethany, you know how much. I mean, I've read like crazy lately. I'm trying to do at least a book every 2 weeks,
Amazing.
and a lot of it is just dealing with yourself. But what I have found amazing is it's like each one that's come to me in a list of books that I get from different companies that I've joined and different things, and each one is like the next stepping stone I've needed in the in the journey, if you
Mhm.
will.
Divine timing.
It, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
Bethany, I've talked to you about it. How
Mhm.
crazy. I mean, the whole thing is just has been amazing, and that's just reading this morning and this morning reading about visualization, and I'm trying to do the miracle morning with the six parts of the miracle morning, and uh, it's meditation, reading, journal, visualization, exercise, which I've been terrible at, and I forgot what the last one. But anyways, it's savers is the word that you use to take you to each one of those. Scribe, and which is the
Yes.
journaling part. Um, but it just everything like the visualization I've had trouble with, and I just had it explained in this book today. That was just it was taught to me the right way.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to make it easier. It
Oh,
made sense to me today.
it
When I was reading
resonated.
the book. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been crazy. All
Well,
these things.
it's not crazy because it's like really you have told like however people want to look at it. You can say the universe, you could say God, creator, whatever is out there that is guiding us other than ourselves, because I learned that like decades ago that like
Hmm.
you aren't really the one in control. And if the minute you can own
Harness that
not
thought.
yeah, the minute that you can become comfortable with that, and then also kind of develop
Trust.
your trust and develop your understanding of what else out there might be helping you or not, just trusting
Hmm.
that there is something out there that is guiding you. But the minute you do that, it's like synchronicities are the way of
They're
life.
all around.
Like,
Yes,
it
they're
just
all.
happens. It just is like you're in the flow. You said, I wanna learn how to do the visualize. I wanna get better with it." Boom, here comes the next piece of material to help
Hmm.
you with that because you want that help. You want that guidance. It's bettering you. It's making you a better person. These choices that you're making every day to do that. So,
And
uh,
it's his soul coming forward. Again, like going into the synchronicities, but it's his soul
mm,
connecting because the soul is connected to creator. So his soul is starting to speak to him. Something's resonating. Oh,
mhm,
I'm going to try this. Oh, I'm going to do this. This feels good for me. So you're allowing your soul to come to play. When we do, I like to say, um, I am in the passenger seat and creator's driving, and it allows me to take pressure off myself, to have to be the
mm,
one in control, to have to be the one to figure it all out. If I just open myself up to the signs and synchronicities,
mm,
open my soul up, then they fall into place. People, places, and things just fall into your life, and you just need to trust it and go to the path of least resistance.
yep.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. Yeah. And it
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I was all in taking it back to meditation. I'm not going to say that I was all in. Oh, that's the thing I thought, okay, well, might as well try it.
Yeah.
It's like, so, that was just one step. But, and I look at those years to probably my last 2 years have been the most growth out of retirement, and I look at it as because I've been thinking about it. My schedule's just jam packed, and I'm trying to get that under control, and I've got mechanisms to try to get it under control because I try to pack too much in one day, and when I say too much, way too much.
Mhm.
I have grand thoughts of, well, all I need is one kink, and it's totally thrown my schedule off, and that's I don't say it creates bad feeling, but it creates, the thoughts that, oh man, I just
Let
didn't get that.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done three
Disappointment.
days in a row now that I have not been able to get to this one person, the program that I have of his, and I haven't gotten to it because something else got in the way on my schedule,
Mhm.
and it just bugs me. That's all.
And
It just creates a little more upheaval in my thought
Mhm.
processes. So I'm
Mhm.
just trying to get that under control so I don't overshoot how much time I think it takes.
being
Um,
gentle on yourself.
I'm trying because that's where I'm struggling right now
Yeah.
is making sure my day is structured so that I get things. I mean, I've got a lot to accomplish, and for me,
Right.
and so maybe giving something an hour and it really needs two, or I do something for two but it really needs three, then I need to restructure that, and that probably will help me get to everything over a 3 or 4 day span,
Mhm.
whereas now it just gets pushed, it gets pushed because I'm going to this other avenue that I've done, and I doesn't cause bad feeling. It just causes, upheaval, just not your brain's not thinking right. Cause I'm thinking, man, I still haven't gotten to him. And I keep looking at my list and then I go write my schedule for the next day. And uh, so yeah, I'm trying to put it in a book. I've got a nice planner now that I'm hoping gets a little more of that under control because
Yeah.
for me, and Bethany, you get to charge. I mean, for me, I mean, I get to like 8 o'clock at night and the TV hasn't been on all day, which is like, that's where I've spent the
Like,
last retirement to where I finally started to break the habits here in this last 6 months, big time. The last 3 months, huge strides.
mhm.
So if I turn it on at 8 o'clock, I might watch it for like an hour, 90 minutes, something like that. That gets me through my 2 programs that I've recorded that I might want to see. Sometimes they get backed up and I just say, not today.
Mm-hmm.
And I just move. And for me to do that has been a huge stride in itself because you know what I watch, and I think he's humorous,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still of the news of the day, which is not getting us anywhere. Really,
I
it's
want to bookmark something and just sort of pause
okay.
for a second because yeah, I do want to bookmark. So you're saying that yes, so I know you personally. So I do know that that's a huge stride for you because there was a time period where you had a
Oh yeah,
really tough time even looking around the house to just like get like housework done and that would build up
right.
and bother you and that would so like and I mean that was in like the last year. Like so I would say in the last like 6 months is where I feel like I've heard and noticed. Is it Lily?
No,
Puppy dog?
I'm looking around the house right now,
Oh, housework?
and I'm glad you can't see it. So yeah, yeah.
Well,
but I'm getting to the point where I paid for the yard work to be done and the yard to be planted, and
yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I'm earning enough money that I need to have just somebody come in and take
And
care of it.
that's that
So
and
I
that's
can,
okay.
yeah,
right,
Yeah.
right,
totally
and
okay.
but it's taken me a while. Well, I've never had the money,
Mhm.
to do to feel confident to say I can give this much up
That's a
to this.
luxury.
Mhm.
Right, exactly, and now, Bethany, you know that now I can,
Mhm.
and I am more apt to just say that. That's why I looked at the lawn and I thought, first of all, I have allergies. So do I
Mhm.
really want to be out there?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I,
Causing
I,
stress to you.
Mhm.
right, right, right. And so I was just like, you know what? He did such a great job helping me get the lawn scraped down last year. I'm just going to call Mike up and it's his, and I'll
Mhm.
pay
Yes.
him. He's
Takes the
well worth
pressure
it.
off you.
It did,
Yes.
Mhm.
because
And takes the
now
pressure.
the whole time he was out there working, I was in the house work. I was actually working.
Being able to do what
I
you're
wasn't in
doing.
the house watching TV. I
Right.
was
Yeah.
in the
Right.
house doing my work,
Right.
of what I'm trying to strive for myself, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
And it
So
may, and this second branch, as it may work, it may not. I'm striving to make it work, and this is what I think I have to do.
yeah.
It's a good growth along the way too. So
Well, let's go back
Definitely.
to so
okay,
what
sorry.
exactly where so I want to bring up I guess a big influence Bob Proctor because I want to say that's
He
where the
started this
shift.
journey for me.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
want to just like speak on like go back to like 6 months ago if you can in your mind and just think about when you started to feel the tide turn. When and what was that? Like what did you do? What type of things were you listening
First
to?
of all, he's the first person that I've really listened to, and I've listened to a couple cents that branched off of him, and I've just disassociated myself with them because their voice doesn't resonate with me. So
100%.
I just, yeah.
You
And
keep
at
cut it
first
off.
I was like, wow, this is there. But I have gotten good things out of doing some of the things that they did, but her voice didn't resonate with me.
Mhm.
Proctor did, and the way he explained it. It's funny. I listened coming up to your place. Well,
Mhm.
actually, okay. So this is probably back. I really started this journey in September, October, because I listened to his library on the way up to your
Mhm.
place and home, and it
Mhm.
lasted both trips.
Yeah.
And I just had it playing all the time, as Lindsay will tell you,
Mhm.
in the truck all the time. And he just got into the subconscious and how important it is, and how we develop as humans. And it resonated with me. It made so much sense
Mhm.
to why I was the way. And now, as I'm reading more and more, I'm seeing more and more why I live my life the way I live my life. And
Mhm.
And to
I
Do you
go
mind if
ahead.
I cut in?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday and they were talking about how we live 90 to 95% in the subconscious. So of course we will be stuck in certain type of patterns from the time we were born till to the age that we're at. If we are not addressing the subconscious, then we will stay in loops. We will stay in patterns. And sometimes we need people to help us with our blind spots. And so that's finding those practitioners, finding the therapist, but also the work that you can do individually through meditation. There's so like getting into the subconscious, to me personally, is how I feel that we heal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think
seriously, I
yeah.
mean, I'm to the, that's why I say he explains it so well. And it's funny. Well, so anyways, I was listening to the recordings, and then I don't know why. I don't know if I watched a webinar that they did and they showed Bob Proctor teaching. Somewhere I saw him teaching, one of his recorded lessons, because obviously he died 2 years ago, but and using his diagram to show the way he did it, he showed the subconscious and how you are as a baby, and you have no choice because you're taking in, everything's being pumped in,
and you're a sponge,
and you're a sponge, exactly. And then he does the brain, the brain as a circle divided into two, the subconscious and then the conscious, and all the things in how you're exposed to all the things in your environment and everything. It was fascinating, just that revelation, and then you just start thinking about it. And that's why Bethany, back to that, the meditation, a lot of the meditation I do now is that holosync that I bought the program, spent and
is that the theta? Is that what you were talking to me about, Bethany, where like it goes in and just reprograms if you have procrastination?
bingo.
It will, yeah, very cool.
Supposedly, but I'm going to tell you, as I said to Bethany when I did the very first one, that there was no consistent concentration on breathing, because that's what I always try to do. I try to bring it to the breath first, and my head was racing 100 miles an hour, which they said it could possibly, and each progression that you make and you do it for, I forgot how long and that's another thing I need to go back and figure out how long I do each one, and then you progress to the next and it takes you deeper. So I'm doing it now, and so I do the second part, and it's the second part that takes you deeper. So I'm
more stuff comes
down.
up.
Yeah, but I'm more calm. I'm calmer than I was before.
You're in the theta.
I think it's because exactly that's what it is. It's gone to the theta, and it sometimes I'll be like, it's over, and it's shut off, and I'm like, oh, wow, I missed like the last 15, 20 minutes of that. And that's what they say will happen to you, and it has, and it's almost guaranteed for me. That's as it shifts to the next, and there's an abrupt shift when it goes into the second portion of it, so that it's there. So that's why I believe in it, because these things are happening to me when I'm doing it. So I don't worry, and they tell you not to worry quite as much about the thought, what your thought, try to bring it down. And I've always done that, even if I did the guided ones, concentrating on the breath and all that stuff. And I just find it sometimes it's very difficult to do. So I'll do it when I go to sleep at night. I'll start concentrating on the breath, and before I know it, I'm asleep.
Well, I think the most important thing with meditation that we all like, I don't know if everybody gets it, but like I think that the most important thing, it's not to turn your thoughts off. Like you're never going to turn your brain off.
Right.
It's just to truly separate that attachment to it. So it's just to truly observe the thoughts just floating by, like however you want to, whatever analogy you want to make, clouds in the sky, leaves in the stream, like whatever you want to think of it as, it's just like this total disconnection from your thoughts. And Dad, I just have to say, like, I feel like you've spoken to me. So just a little fun fact about my dad is that he's also raising a 16-year-old daughter who's my
14.
14. Oh my God. Yeah. I just jumped her up in 2 years.
Gee,
14-year-old
don't go
daughter.
there yet.
I know.
Don't go there
I
yet.
feel like she could. I feel like she could be 16. She's really smart. And anyway, so he's raising a 14-year-old daughter, and you're not a spring chicken anymore. And so, and I think so I think a beautiful thing that meditation has done for you is it's allowed you to separate from those. It's allowed you to be the observer of those thoughts and
Yes.
the reactions that you may have had, because knowing you do have a short fuse at times, and you did for whatever reasons, like who knows, stresses of life, stresses of parenting, like name whatever you want to, put it, fill in the
Right.
blank. Everybody deals with stressors, everybody deals with not enough sleep, didn't eat right, like, the list goes on to whatever makes you react to people the way you react to them. But anyways, I think that the meditation, and maybe you can expand on that, has given you the space to like react less with Lindsay.
And
You
there's
know,
that, there's that
yeah.
has helped, but I really, and it's funny because I know Lindsay listened when I had the recordings on in the truck,
Hmm.
because she and I are really big on responding rather than reacting,
That's
because
awesome.
I
It's
have been
beautiful.
a reactor, and it, again, I in no way would I blame, and it primarily would have come from my dad. I would, but that's the way he learned.
Hmm.
And that's
Hmm.
Lindsay and I just had this discussion, and then I did as I was taught, and the
Hmm.
way it would have happened in my house, and trying to break that chain,
A
in some ways.
you're being a generational, um I can't get the word right now, but you're
You're
breaking
breaking the
trauma.
generation.
You're
You're breaking the
exactly the
generational
Right,
lineage.
pattern.
right,
Yes. And like,
right.
look at how beautiful. I mean, one thing I love to see, I see a lot of parents now treating their children with like emotional intelligence, and they are really like, she's 14 and she's listening to this, that's going into her subconscious. So now, in hopes, when she ages, maybe she's not going to have to break down the programming, the constructs that we've had to break down over time, and it's going to help her thrive even bigger in life. Like, that's a
I'm
brag
hoping.
right there,
Oh
I'm
honestly.
yeah.
hoping.
Tom, I really
That's
thought, I mean, really, like, let's just think
Oh
about it. It's it's
yeah.
subconscious. We live off of 95%. So boom, like, if you keep doing that, I mean, come on, like, to me, it seems like a no brainer that this is what's going to be happening. And I see now younger kids. My client came to me and said, I do energy healing on kids as well. And my friend came to me and was like, oh, my client, she was like, oh my goodness, my daughter was having an overwhelming moment. And she said, hold on, mama, I just need to go grab my Tibetan bells to calm her. And she's
Oh
just a young little girl, like, rather than us
mm,
lashing out, being reactive. She's seeing that she needs help. She's verbalizing it, and she's going and using a tool that helps her.
yeah.
right. And
It's beautiful.
that's one of my affirmations, is that I'm grateful that I'm responding rather than reacting. And
Yeah, I love that.
I've been doing it for whatever 4 months now, and it's always one of mine for the last 4 months. Every morning I write that, just trying to get
To
it
keep it
ingrained.
in the,
Yeah,
yes, 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 yes,
keep it
yes, yes.
going, and because it was funny. I think I told you, Bethany, when I picked her up from practice, and she's a 14-year-old. So
Yeah.
we got in the truck, and she had just gone through an episode with her AirPod, and leaving it on a bus on a trip, and relying on somebody else picking it up for her, and they didn't. And she had the tracker on the AirPod, and she could track where it was a charter bus that they went on a trip. Oh, my AirPods in Boston. Oh, my AirPods in New York City. Oh,
Oh,
so she could trace where it was. They'd already called, and they knew that it was hers, and they had it. It was not a problem. They were going to get it back. I had to go out of my way to take her to get it, but we got it. So anyways, we get about a week and a half later, we get in the truck and I'm driving home from practice and I don't know, we got 4 minutes away from everything and we're well off the school property and, oh, Dad, we got to go back. I forgot my AirPod. I looked at her and immediately I said to myself, I'm like, respond. And how are you going
Nice
to respond?
job.
And how are you going to respond? How, I knew here's a teaching moment, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, Linz, you've got to get better at this. I said, this is 2 times in 3 weeks. I said, they're not cheap. I said, when you get to practice, you got to think about it before you can't get to practice and just pop it out of your ear and run out on the field. You've got to have a set, put it in the front of your bag. How long does that take you?
Mhm.
And it was so funny. She went out in the field and she found it. She had her, well, I don't know how they're, don't ask me how, but
Those
you,
kids, they
you,
know.
you know, I know exactly.
Not
She's
me.
out
I
there
don't
and
know.
We don't know.
We don't
she's,
know.
oh, okay. Well, she's looking at her phone and she's going like this. And I'm thinking, it's in the grass somewhere. And I was like, all of a sudden she popped up. She got it. Afterwards, she said, I was really surprised how you handled that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She goes,
Cool.
I really thought that you'd really be. I said, well, I'm going to tell you, it took a little bit not to, but
Uh-huh.
back, if you'd taken
Yes.
me back a year, I probably would have gassed the truck and, humped back over there and been ticked off and whatever.
Hmm.
What does it do?
And like, look at the beauty of that. It allows these tools allow us to soften because the thoughts can flood our mind, the reactiveness can flood our mind. But when we start to learn how to respond and learn how to react differently, we literally are softening and we change. And then that allows the other person to not get defensive. Because let's just say you came in reactive. Well, Lindsay may have been then fueling off of your reactivity and got really defensive and felt shame and felt criticized. So it could take you down a rabbit hole of
Oh no, that's what it would have done.
unnecessary pain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what it would have done. Yeah. No, and it's funny because, again, I can think of instances where my dad would be under the car back in the day
Yeah.
when you worked on them, and he'd send you to the shop to get a tool. Heaven forbid you came back up and you didn't have the tool because you couldn't find it.
Or the wrong tool.
Or the wrong one. It's not there. And then never. And he traipse on down. Sometimes it would be there, sometimes it wouldn't. But that's just. But again, that's where I learned.
Yeah,
That's where you
exactly.
learn to do those things. And I'm not saying because he learned the same way. I know
Yeah.
how his dad was. I know how they.
They
I
didn't
know.
have the tools. They didn't have the
Right.
tools back
Right.
then.
Because
Right.
you think
And
about it, I mean,
just
going back to our theme, never it's better late
Better
than
late than
better late than
never.
never.
a lot of
Yeah.
people your age, and that's why I kind of wanted to do this with you, really, is to like put out there that it is better late than never. There's never a
Yes.
point, and yes, and I don't know, Dad, maybe you could speak to that. Is it harder to start later and have to undo so many decades of learning? I don't know if it's any harder or any
No,
easier. I
I don't
don't
think
know.
it's. I don't think it's harder.
Yeah.
The only thing for me is um, sometimes I feel disappointment only
Mm.
in the fact that I'm, 60, going to be 69 in a few weeks, and how much of a different being I would have been if I learned this at 30,
It,
at
Right.
25, 20, learn this along the way, and and not
Time.
but I don't know that I would have been. I would have if it was taught, if it was a normal teaching thing, but this was not.
It
This
wasn't.
is
very
no, this is
taboo.
not.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I would have probably looked at it like if somebody said, you really need to, and I was, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
that's. I remember I don't know if we should go there with this, but
Mhm.
I remember I remember being at the doctor's office when we were trying to find out what I was going through in
Uh-huh.
2000, I think it was. And when the doctor finally said, you need to get something to calm down. That's it. You need, anxiety or whatever. And your mother had suggested talking to somebody. And I said something that wasn't appropriate. I mean, I know it was now. And I knew it then. I really knew it then. But
Yeah.
again, I reacted and I said something totally just like, you know, dissing. I didn't need to talk to
Therapy.
anybody. I didn't need to
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah.
anybody,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I just was like, what am I going to talk to somebody about? That's
Well,
really.
and then it's bringing up like maybe at that time it was hard for you to feel those things, think those things,
Yeah.
and it's just
Oh,
a way for you to shut it down right
mhm.
away. Be like, no, I don't want to open those wounds here.
Yeah.
Which,
And again, right. And again, that's why I say, if things were different way back, how much of a different approach I would have taken going through things and learning along the way. It's just, yeah.
I
But
have one. I have.
again,
Oh, yeah.
no, it's just it sure beats sitting in front of the TV for 8
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And what sort of programming is going into the mind through that way? Like
Oh,
what's getting
absolutely.
into the subconscious? Like the things that are on TV, they are not to make us. I mean, yes, there are things that can lift us up, but there is a lot of subconscious.
Most of it is not, and
Yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah, and
it's
and then we're feeding it, and then kids are like, you're starting young, so it's just it's continuing that cycle of
Or just
places we shouldn't
programming.
be at.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just programming, like, it's mass programming that's out there on
Yeah.
that level. But I just wanna say a couple things. So 2 things. One thing on the disappointment piece. So, a tool that I'm thinking of right now, and I'm curious, do you feel disappointment towards situations that you let down or people that you let down? Or is it both?
all.
All? Okay.
Yeah, I let myself down.
What okay, wondering if maybe you would find it helpful to either write a letter of
Yes.
forgiveness to yourself, to those people that you feel you let down, and even to the situations you feel you let down, because you could even do a ceremony with that where you write it out and then you could burn that and transmute that, situation. But maybe the people that you feel you disappointed, you write them a letter of forgiveness. And I don't know, because that disappointment that is there, um, is one facet of what you're doing that is sort of, it's making the diamond not as shiny. You
Mhm,
know what I
mhm.
mean? And it's a really
Yeah,
big
oh,
piece.
absolutely,
It's a
yeah.
really big piece, like disappointment, shame, like super low
Yeah.
vibration. And so it's a really big piece for like mental, physical health,
Where's it storing in the
where is it
body?
storing in your
Yeah.
body?
Right.
Speaking of
Oh,
like
makes
what you're
sense.
going through with your health right now, like that disappointment, that weight of disappointment could be like lingering in that. So I think that's important that you brought that
Hmm.
up.
I have something too to add to that as well. I mean, because Tom loves meditation, I don't know about you, Tom, but when I'm meditating, like I found that like I have a harsh inner critic, and I'm really proud of her lately. She's been really gentle, but I realized through meditation, I found her in my shoulder, and I was having physical pain in my shoulder. I do energy work regularly. I do massage, but when I do meditations, I will say, bring me to the places where I'm holding. And so maybe that disappointment is being held in your low back. Can you like allow your mind to show you where it is in the body? And is there to show you ways to release it?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think definitely releasing that somehow. I don't always feel like talking it out is enough. Like I do feel like
I
writing,
think
like
body work, it's
you're a big,
all,
well, body, yeah, all of it. You could do body energy work, but also I think you're a big writer. Like you do write things out. And so I feel
Mhm.
like writing a letter of
That's a thought. Yes,
forgiveness.
absolutely,
But then
absolutely.
the other thing I want to say about, you say like, if I had done this sooner in life, if I had been like knowing this sooner in life, And I really feel like in the grand scheme of the consciousness that I feel that we all do share to a certain degree, right? Like your specific the specific things that you go through are definitely shaping your consciousness and your reality, but in a way, it is also affecting everybody else around you in this
Right.
collective consciousness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So the fact that you're even just, it's never too late. It's never too late because even this change at this point in your life, for the next third of your life, or however
Mhm.
you want to look at it, it's helping the whole consciousness. It's helping all those other people out there that A, may listen to this episode and be enlightened or inspired, or B, you're helping Lindsay interacting with her and her
How
consciousness,
she
you're
will
expanding
raise in
that,
her life.
the people you touch, the people, so it's like it's truly never too late. And also because consciousness is infinite, it's never going to end and it never has a beginning. So it's like there's
Right.
never really a start, a finish, you know, this is the right time to start it, this is the right time to
Better
finish.
late than
It's just like
never.
it's a
Yeah.
continuum. It's a continuum and it never stops. Because like even though I was fortunate enough and Courtney's fortunate enough to be at a younger place in life and having the ability to be curious enough to do this work and be, you know, able to like look at ourselves, look at the things we've gone through, integrate, da da da. Um, we're gonna keep doing it forever because
Yeah, it's
being
that's the work
human
never
is
stops.
being on this
Experience.
planet is so hard. I mean, even if you got all your trauma figured out from your past and you've integrated everything and all your relationships are good, like you still got to go out and act in the world. You still got like X, Y, and Z running your country. You still got to operate. You know, you still got all these
Right.
things that
Right.
you have to be human with. And
You mean
you
you
know,
mean I can't come up and hide on your 40 acres and
Mhm.
you
just
Yeah,
can,
Tom.
you can,
Yes.
piss
you
piss
can,
off
but
everybody else?
then you got to contend with the ticks. Okay, so
Right. I know. I thought about that, but that's all right. That's
you
it.
got the ticks. Now you got a porcupine. I mean, there's a couple things that might throw you off.
Right. Right.
We need the same serum that we use for dogs, for ticks, for
There
us.
you
Like,
go.
is
Exactly.
there something
So it starts coming
organic?
out the pores.
Bethany, please find it. Bethany, create it for us. An organic
I don't
Yeah.
tick
know.
tick sprayer.
I don't
Tom,
know.
Tom, last year I had my first tick on me and I was terrified. And I literally reached to Bethany for help. And she was like, nope, you gotta do it yourself. And I was like, oh, this little guy. It
You
was,
take it off.
oh, it was, I'm scared. I witnessed Bethany kill one today and she does it like a champ. I'm over here squirming and I'm in New Brunswick.
Yeah, there's like three bugs that I'll kill and I won't feel bad about it. Mosquitoes, ticks,
Yeah.
and a cockroach
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
in your
Oh.
house. Yeah, like
mm,
down south, like no, I
Mm-hmm.
did not.
I literally turned on my light one time and I watched him squirm up onto the wall, up onto the
Yeah,
ceiling, boom into my closet. I was like,
yeah,
oh my God,
oh my goodness.
throw the
Yep.
house away. The house is
yeah,
gone. Burn it to the ground.
It's the only way you're gonna get them. Smoke them
yeah,
out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Tom, I had a question for you because not everybody meditates and people have a hard time with starting meditation.
Hmm.
So I started meditation back during COVID, and I remember I had a really hard time being able to calm the mind, calm the body, and I turned it away and then I shut it aside. But I eventually came back, and the way that I found I was able to get into meditation was to start with guided meditations. Did you have that struggle at first of knowing where to begin, knowing what to do? Did you stop? Did you come back? What was the process like for you?
YouTube, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started guided, and things that you could. It was unguided, but they tell you how to get yourself into the
Okay,
state. I
cool.
had
Right.
I had one episode that I was doing a group in Saratoga. I'd go join it, and the very first night we finished it off with, I think it was 20 minutes of meditation. I went so deep that night. It was so weird. And that was
Oh,
the only time I've ever gone that deep. When I walked out of there, I was still in a state. It
wow.
was
You were in the
really
trance.
weird. Yeah,
I wonder,
exactly. That's what it was.
do you think it was the combination of all the energies around you and
Could
like
have
the
been, could have been. I have no idea. All I know is I, at that point, I was counting. was counting
Mhm.
breaths. And I still try to do that from time to time. If I'm having a difficult time calming down, I try to count breaths. Either
Okay.
I'm going in for 4, and then when I get there, that's 1, and then
Yeah.
release is 2, and then I go back in like you did today,
Hmm.
Bethany, at the top to hold, and
Right,
that's
right,
when
right,
I
right.
count my up is always an odd number, my down is always an even number. That night in particular, I know I never missed a beat. I never missed a count. And some days I'll struggle after I'll get to 6, and all of a sudden, poof, something just went by, and I'm like, oh, man, I'll start again,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I do it again. And it's interesting. I've had some interesting times lately where I've tried that. Even while I'm doing the holosync, I will try to do that. And there are times where I can stay with it. There are other times, but I had one. There's another episode. I had one that I was doing a guided one, and this guy took you through this whole thing, and then he would take you up to this top. You're up a white set of marble stairs, and they're always gray. They're always gray, never white.
Uh-huh.
And I'd been doing it and doing it, and I probably had been doing it at least a month or better, maybe more than that. It probably was longer than that. I really liked that one because it took you different places, and I knew that I had made such strides the day I saw white stairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was
amazing.
really weird because they were dark. The whole time I'm thinking, I
Mm.
I just cannot visualize those white marble stairs. They're
Interesting.
always dark. They're always dark. They're always, and then one day, all of a sudden, man, there's this grand white staircase. There
Wow.
was another episode that,
So it's
really
like
won
what
me over.
Yeah, and it's like what sort of maybe blockages did you
Yeah.
have? And then
Exactly.
the more that you keep at it, the more you stay consistent. Well, boom, that's where you see the growth. Like we need to applaud the small steps, the small
Hmm.
progresses, because that, in my
It took a
opinion, makes
while.
and it makes the big picture of it all. And it's like, but being consistent, that's showing up
Right.
for yourself, and knowing that we are human and we fall back and we go down those marble steps. But if you just keep going forward, you're going to find that grand white marble staircase if you keep being true and just like trying to do the work.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's why I say, and these are things that really I've just kept to myself. I don't, Bethany, you and I'll talk about it or whatever from
Mhm.
time to time. I don't even know if I told you about that one, but that
No.
that that was just one that happened to me. And I mean, and that was probably 2014, somewhere in
Yeah.
that range that was happening to me. And
Yeah.
so I'd made a stride of some sort,
Mhm.
obviously trying to look back, and I just knew I felt better too, at that point.
Well, I was gonna
So,
say, I wonder if the gray, if it was at that time, if it was an emotional
right.
high
Oh, I'm
because you were
sure it
going through a
was.
lot emotionally.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder if that just sort of something shifted emotionally inside of you that helped that
Right.
be clear
Beautiful.
because that's
Yeah.
really sweet. Yeah. Yeah, that's so sweet. Um, this is awesome.
I know, I love it.
I've heard things that
Honestly,
I've
Tom,
never even heard.
I know. I'm like, Tom, do you want to come back and be on another episode?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. You
Yeah,
know me, Bethany. You start me,
Chit
it's
chat.
hard to shut up,
I
so
know. That's why I'd
it's
love to. I wish we knew your birth time because I'd
I
love
know.
to do your human design because I
I feel like
feel
he's a projector.
2 o'clock, 2:02 a.m. I think it was, or 2:10 a.m. something like that. It was
yeah.
two something a.m.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever known that. Okay, well, I'm gonna look up your. I'm gonna look up
What do
your.
you think, Bethany? What do you feel?
I kind of feel
Maybe a
generator.
generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I totally
100%.
feel generator, but the profiles is what I'm curious about.
Yes, 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 yes.
Profiles the way that you probably I think have a 4 because you easily can chat with people and get on a level with people very quickly, and
Hmm.
you are opportunistic with that in a sense, like,
Hmm.
and you've always it's yeah. So I kind of I'm picking up on a 4, but I don't know what the other number is, but I definitely pick up on the 4
It's funny you say that because
because
I don't know if I can say this on the podcast, but
Yes,
yeah,
you
I
can.
could
You can
I
say
could always
anything.
bullshit with the best of them.
heck yeah, yes,
I seriously, and I say that, and it sounds pretty crap, but it wasn't.
yeah,
It was one of those things like even our superintendent that I got hired by in South Glens Falls, his education had taken him to a level of speaking words that I knew, and I could talk with him on his level. Yet I could go in and go in the locker room with
And
the
talk.
guys and
Yeah.
be whatever.
The best.
I'm,
Yeah. Open to all.
So I can.
Yeah. I agree, Bethany. I agree.
That's the realm,
Yeah.
of being able to just start talking. So I've always thought about that.
It's a super awesome. It's a quality that not everybody has, and it like
Bethany always. She's always when she sees me and Jonah, she's like, "Oh, look at them in their fours. They're just like vibing with all these people." And we're at the farmers market. Me and Jonah are like getting to know these vendors, and Bethany's just there watching us, geeking out,
taking it all in.
And I like chit chatting, and I love chit chatting with people. But it's a way like going into a new situation. I bet I have a little bit more anxiety about it than you do as a 4. I think that you just it effortlessly happens where like I can go into a situation, be friendly enough and open enough to chat with people, but it might give me a little bit more of a mild anxiety to do it than like the people that have that 4 in their profile for the human design shout out. It's like it's an effortless quality that you have, and it's beautiful.
I've got the 4, and I love, like, I can connect to people so deeply, and I can like see them. I can literally hone in, tap in, asking the questions that will allow me to see them deeper. Even with you, Tom, I was like, all right, I'm not even going to think. I know it's all going to organically just flow through. I know that I'm going to pick up wisdom from whatever Tom is saying, whatever Bethany is saying. And I was like, I'm not putting pressure on myself to feel like I need to have questions set up for you, because like I'm gonna allow my 4 to come to. I'm gonna allow my 4 to shine.
Yeah, you did. It's been.
I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if she wrote anything down. She certainly didn't give it to me.
No,
give me a little heads up.
Yeah, I know, right?
I just wanted it to be organic, and I had just a couple of speaking points, and we really like went over the crux of what I kind of wanted to highlight about just, and really just the theme of it's never too late.
Better late than never. Better never. Yeah.
Better late than never. Never too late. However way you want to shape it.
Better late than
never.
Like,
it's just truly like, that's what I wanted to highlight is that, it's never too late. And
that, I'll tell you right now, that also came from Proctor. Not the better late than never, except I looked at him. He lived his life that way, but he lived till he was 87. And I just started thinking, well, if I want to live to 87 and be active like he is and do what he's doing, I need to change what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful to see that.
But you had, if I didn't, I still, I need to, my biggest thing right now is exercise. I need to start exercising, and that, I'm going through some things right now, and I have, problems with my feet and my whatever, but that's besides the point. But I really do start doing it. No, I have some circulation, but I have circulation problems, and I've got to go see a vascular person in 2 weeks. So, but so, I can keep using that as an excuse, but I need to just get out and at least walk, walking.
I mean, Dad, honestly, though, at your age, like you should do more weight resistance, even if you got.
You're right. And that's the other thing I've noticed. My arms have gotten so small. I've lost so much muscle in just in 8 months, probably. When I started going through the thing that the PMR and going through that, it's just, that's where I really noticed. And I don't, can prednisone do that?
Oh, well, I think prednisone's more like.
But I mean, I've been through episodes where I didn't work out and I didn't see deterioration like I'm seeing.
It could. Interesting. It could be that.
That's a steroid, correct? That's a steroid?
Yes.
Yeah, and so steroids can have, like, the side effects from steroids can be quite hard on the body.
So, like, just to side note all this that we just talked about too, for people listening out there that are like, okay, this guy's retired, he's got a ton of time in his life, like, I don't know, whatever stories people want to make up about who you are and how your life is. I mean, just to bring it down to earth, you're raising a 14-year-old part-time with, her mom, but still you take her every day to school, you pick her up every day, you're doing most of the practice, you're more available. And so you're taking a lot of care of her. And then also you've been dealing with a major health issue since last Memorial Day, because I remember Memorial Day, shortly
Right.
after Memorial
It
Day,
was just before that I really got
when you
hit.
got
And
sick.
then
Yeah.
just
So,
trying to go through everything that I was going through at that point, medicines and
yeah.
it was crazy there for a while.
Yeah.
And it still is crazy because I don't know what's, happening or what's going to happen. So, but I know that got to do what I got to do.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm
But it's
at.
just, it makes it a little bit more of a grounded experience for people to know that there's all this, still
Right.
going on
It's
in the
not
background.
rosy.
It's not
No,
rosy. It's
yeah.
not like you've got like all this time in the world and you got nothing going on. It's like, nah, but you're taking what you got and you're making, gold out of it. And you're trying your
Hopefully.
best to make gold out of it. Yeah, you are. I
Hopefully.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh no, I feel good about it. I feel
yeah.
this is what I needed to do at this point. And
Is
The
there
answers
any?
will come. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
the answers will come. And even just going into the meditation, the answers all lie within. So it's like now, like finding those questions, finding those intentions within yourself and seeking, like connecting before you start your meditation and be like, what is going on in my feet? And do you get wisdom? Do you
Mhm.
find the rabbit? Can you see where you're, oh, maybe it was this emotional experience that is now stuck into my feet, maybe like X, Y, and Z. Meditation can show you all the answers because all the answers are within us. We have an innate wisdom within us. And the more and more we look inside, the more and more we will find everything that we need to do. The synchronicities, all the signs that people will come into our life, that people, places, and think, Bob Proctor, all the things that are divinely set. It's if you're open to it, they're all there. Just allow yourself to go down the rabbit hole
Mhm.
and to try and not give up,
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, can't do that. Got Lindsay. She's got
Exactly. Yeah.
I got 4 big years before she graduates, and
Yeah.
I got a lot to teach her. So
Exactly. And you got the rest of her
Yeah.
life because you're still
right,
teaching me, I'm still teaching you. It's like it's a lifelong journey with a
right,
kid. I
right.
truly feel it's like such a beautiful lifelong journey. So like you got your third to live out and be the best that you can be and be as healthy as you can be and
Yeah.
that's how you have to look at it. Um is there anything else that you want to add about anything that's like, inspiring you? I know you've done we could do a whole nother podcast about,
hmm
just your business endeavors and the things that you've started up also in retirement and the things and the tools that you're using to stay on track with that stuff. Because you mentioned that you have a busy schedule and that you have done things like create a schedule, which is different for
Right.
somebody in
Totally
retirement
different.
to
Yeah,
have a schedule
exactly.
every day.
I know that's
Yeah.
what I've thought about. I've thought, if I overshot my mark here, of trying to put all these other things together. I mean, the insurance is doing so well right now, but have I really overshot my mark trying to do everything else? And I'm thinking, no, what have I got to do?
Yeah.
But try to
Right.
pick up new skills.
Yeah.
That's such a cool
I don't
outlook
know.
though.
Yes,
It's
I
such a
love that.
Yeah.
it's
As
I
long
mean,
as the
because
money keeps coming in with the other, that I can
yeah,
survive and do what I want to do.
yeah.
Um,
And
Again, I bring it back. I feel like it's this, you're allowing your soul to come out and show you what it wants to do.
mhm,
yeah.
If this feels good for you, then stick with it. If that
And the
feels
brain
good,
is amazing. The brain is an amazing thing.
mhm,
That's Proctor. His whole thing. You know, you can. No one's ever seen anybody's mind. You don't. What's
yeah.
yeah.
but think about how it runs the body. Just
Well,
Mhm,
think about
exactly.
how everything that it does.
yeah.
It's
That's
like it can be your
insane.
best friend or it can be your worst enemy. Which one do you
Exactly.
want it to be?
Right.
And
Exactly.
like be gentle upon yourself along the way. Because yes, we are in this human experience. We're living shit that happens and comes up. But try and make it your friend, because when it's your friend, the infinite, expansive possibilities that can happen, we'll surprise ourselves over and over and over.
It's funny you were saying before about the TV and what's on there and what, the programming and stuff. And I tried 2 days in a row. I thought, well, you know what? Instead of quiet, I'll just put on the news.
Mm.
And it was in the background. And I was doing a lot in the stand-up computer. So I'm over here and I'm listening to it. I did 2 days of it. And I was just like, wow, it's pretty negative.
It's
I need,
heavy.
I need to
It's
get out of
heavy.
here. I need to get
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
So I just shut it off. I
And
just soon be in silence
it's
than,
good that you did that, Tom, because think
right.
about
Oh,
all the
no,
people that
absolutely.
stick with it. And then this negativity is fueling, this vibration is fueling. And then you're going to your friend, you're going to your family, and you're then talking. The heaviness keeps us down. Oh
Yeah.
man, I've been a news.
Yeah.
I can't.
Right. No, I know. That's
But
it.
but Dad, you used to be on news. The channel never
Oh,
changed from the news, like
right,
ever, except for if it
right.
was sports, basketball game or something. But like never changed from the news. So like that is massive for you to just get that out of your system and truly like out of your
Well,
energy field.
right, but to see what it is,
Oh
to
yeah, and that's
to
cool too.
see what it is,
Yeah.
that's the real
Yes, yes,
thing. I
to
mean,
have the to
I still
separate
have my
it.
feelings about what's going on, and I still,
Hmm.
there's enough that I can catch up with reading, looking at the headlines or something like that, which I do. I look
Hmm.
at the headline. I'm not going to say I stay away from it completely. I still look at the headlines, read a blurb here and there, maybe listen to it for 5-10 minutes on the radio if I'm in the truck.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're
not
just you're not allowing
nothing.
it to control you. It doesn't control
Right,
you can see the difference, and that's what meditation does too. It allows us to see the differences, the things that
right.
we're latching on to, and just diving into that again.
Well,
And
the other thing,
creating
well,
Yeah.
the other
space
thing
and a
is
healthy
the
relationship.
one thing that the Miracle Morning, he gets into the life, miracle life, and that's one of those things where you just have to step back and say, can't change it.
Yeah.
That's his can't change it. You Because there are things that happen that we have no control. We have no control over who does what in our country, unfortunately.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I mean, you can go down the rabbit hole of whatever, but I have my opinion of all of them,
Hmm.
and that's both sides of the fence where you probably wouldn't have found me there. Just a short year and a half ago, you wouldn't have found me there, but now I'm just, it's just being fed up with all of them,
Hmm.
and you just hope that you get the least of the worst, whatever the worst is out there. We hope we get the least to at least keep our country safe.
Yeah.
That's why I say, I can't run to 40 acres and hide. So
Hmm.
Not
Hmm.
even
yet.
though I want to, I have that in the
Not
back
yet.
of my head. I, I wouldn't mind that.
Well, I'd
Yeah.
say, Tom, I mean, there's going to be an empty house, just
Oh,
sooner
Dad's.
than later.
Oh,
So you,
oh, he's working on it. He's building his own spot. Oh, Dad's
oh,
gonna
Yeah.
he'll
cool.
he'll
Oh,
be here.
amazing.
He's just got to be wait for Lindsay to get to be graduated. So he's
Hell
got
yeah,
years.
Tom.
Yeah, so he'll
I
be
want.
Yeah, it's
I
a
here.
also.
4-year plan.
I want a witch hut in the woods so that I can come and just like isolate myself, meditate, be all
Hey,
shamanic.
if I had my choice, I'd be out in the back side of the property.
Yeah. Oh,
That's where I'd
yes.
be. If I
Then
had,
you're
if I had
protecting. You'll
infinite
call Joan.
dollars, there you go. If I had infinite dollars, I'd be on the backside of that property and I wouldn't even think twice about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's cool. But I mean, oh my God, Tom, I mean, talking about Bethany's 40 acres, let's go on a digression. I
Oh,
got to
I
I
was
got
like,
to like, I'm out there and I'm just like, me, Jonah, and Bethany, we're just like on the outside, the precipice of the 40 acres. And I look at Jonah and Bethany and we're just eating our supper. And I'm like, guys, this is the tip of the iceberg. Like there is so much to be opened in that space, like the beauty that is going to come from the 40 acres. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be
I know.
it's epic, and
There's
we're just touching the surfaces of it.
I was just gonna say, and you guys are so young, you're just scratching the surface right
yeah,
now. So
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's what's really
yeah,
cool,
It is very
yeah.
cool.
to have that opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very exciting. It is very exciting. Yeah,
yeah,
totally. I can't wait to have all of you here. It's gonna be
yeah.
sweet.
There we
It's
go.
gonna be sweet. It really will be sweet. Yeah. So okay. So wrapping it all up.
Yes, you're gonna have to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're in the
No,
same.
just for
No.
yourself. I know. For me,
Yeah.
I'm still okay for another 45 minutes, and then
Okay.
my first webinar starts, and I've got a slew of stuff going on today. Then I've got to go get Lindsay, take her to her ortho. I got my job coach is at noon. I've got a webinar at 11. Job coach is at noon. Lindsay, I have to pick up, take her to orthodontist, back up to the school because she's got a game today. So I go to the game. Oh yeah, my schedule's already written out.
That's beautiful.
Today's
And
one of those crazy days. Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to say, just going back to this real quick, just a little brag on you, is that the businesses that you're doing, also for everybody, that it's never too late, or it's better late than never. They're both based on the computer. They both use
Right.
technology like significantly. So like that is a testament to like your willingness to stay up with the times, because technology changes faster than I change my underwear.
My God,
and
no
so
kidding.
it's like,
oh my God,
it's a beautiful thing for your mind to be, and for you not to limit yourself from those opportunities because they're based in technology. You're like,
and that's
no,
the thing that
I'm
keeps
just
me
gonna,
going, because I keep looking at, I'm watching
yeah,
these people and they're developing these programs and they're saying, we're looking at the AQP and the CT2, and I'm like, how am I ever going to learn that? But I will. I'm just
Yes,
silent,
and that's
but I will
amazing.
somehow.
Yes. Yes.
so
I
that's
have
just,
no clue what they're talking. I have a basic understanding of what they're doing, and I'm going through all the steps. I've got like 3 programs going, different people, but it's funny when you do this. Anybody out there, they're talking about an avatar. Well, I'm thinking about some cartoon person on TV when they start
That's what
talking
I
about
just
an
did.
avatar. I'm like, what is an avatar? And I'm sitting there, look. Well, then they explain it's your customer. Well, say it's your customer. Don't say it's but
That's
no,
hilarious.
that's their new creation.
yeah,
It's an
Right.
avatar.
yeah,
And you got to do a
Wow.
pixel. And I'm like,
What's
pixel?
a
That's,
pixel?
geez, the more pixels you had in your TV, the better the picture was going to
yeah.
be. So what's this pixel thing? So yeah, all the terminology has all been changed,
Yeah.
down the road in words that, but again, I just think to
Life
myself,
shifts and life adapts. Like that's
yeah,
what it's all,
right, right. And
know?
I just tried to go with the flow. And like I said, if it works, it works. If it doesn't,
Let it go.
next.
But
Yes.
I also have
Beautiful.
to say that your attitude about it like that, and your ability to flow and to probably not get so worked up about it, is because of the other things that you're doing, because of the meditation, because of the visualization, because of
Right.
the affirmations, because of all this work that you've done to sort
Even
of,
journaling.
yeah, journaling. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Write
Tom,
down my thoughts. I know.
I just wrote about you. I got respond, not react.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You're in
know.
my journal.
It's funny because that's what I'll put in there every once in a while. Well, I had another one of those respond rather than react,
Yeah, yeah,
because and
yeah.
I was telling you, Lindsay will bring it up. We were driving in the car one morning, and it got right up the road here and around the corner, and the cars were backed up because they were putting in gas lines or whatever, so it was backed up. Oh man, Dad,
Hmm,
respond. I go,
beautiful. Like,
well, I just said whatever. I didn't. It wasn't like the old days when I
Yeah.
really would have. You got to be kidding me! What did we come this way for? I should have known this was. No, it was just, oh man.
progress.
So
Small
yes, yeah, it is, and it's slow.
progress.
Think about
Yeah.
it. That's why I look at it. For me, it's been 67, 68 years of programming that's got to be deprogrammed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Just like
This is
amazing.
where, honestly, to me, this is where the healing comes from. Theta wave healing, subconscious meditations, energy work, shit like that. It's where we see
That's what
shifts.
I
It's
say
where,
with this holosync is that, and I keep bringing up holosync because that's what I'm involved in right now, and I've put so much money into it. I'm not going to give that one up, but I
Mhm.
do. I really, I just find, because I can put my earbuds in and lay back, and it just takes over. And half of it is, I think half the battle is believing in it. That it's gonna do what it's gonna do,
yeah,
and I get up and I just continue my day.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of opening your eyes, and that's one thing that I read in Jack Canfield's book this morning about meditating, and when you open your eyes, just
it's because you're
go
still in that
through,
trance state.
right, and go through some of the things that you've been thinking about or whatever, to get a better focus now that you've quieted yourself down, to take that
Mhm.
opportunity to get your focus, and then go back about your business. So
Mhm. So cool. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. I love
yes,
you,
and
Dad. That was
if you guys
awesome.
Thank
think
you,
of some other
Tom.
stuff or another direction you want to go,
I love it.
me, we can
Yes,
figure it out.
yes,
We can figure it
yes,
out.
yes. Thank you so much, Tom.
You're welcome. Thanks. It
This
was
is
good.
so
It was
great.
fun. It was
Yeah,
fun.
Cool.
say yeah, I
Thank you. I really
agree.
appreciate it.
Enjoy
So
your busy day and
thanks. Yes, it's going to
yeah,
get hectic, real hectic coming up here. I'm going to
respond
be in the
rather
truck.
than react.
Exactly. I'm going to be in the truck. So great sound system. Lindsay loves it. So it's cool.
I love it.
Awesome. All right.
All
Thanks so much for
right.
being vulnerable, Dad. I love
Take
you
care,
so much.
guys. Have a good
Bye,
one. All
Bye.
everybody.
right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Till
Bye.
next time.
Yes.